Welcome to the Social Podcast, where no discussion or debate is off limits.
Happy Friday vibes to all of you. Welcome to the Social. We'd like to welcome to the show stand-up comedian and actor Hassan Fills.
Thank you.
Oh my God, you ready to mix this up with the ladies or what?
I'm honored to be here, man. This is a lot of energy, and I'm.
It's true. It is true.
I feel like I've infiltrated a group chat right now.
Exactly. All right, well, we're going to start off with what, at least for many, feels like a positive development in our very strained relationship with the United States. So President Donald Trump, he just announced on Truth Social, did you hear this, that he had a call with Prime Minister Mark Carney this morning, and he said, quote, "It was extremely productive." That they also agree on many things and will be meeting immediately after our election to work on elements of politics, business, and all other factors. He also goes on to say that it will end up being great for both the United States of America and Canada. So listen, this is the most positive thing we've heard President Trump say about our country in a really long time, and acknowledging that we are our own country. That's a start. What do we think of this?
I'm excited, at least for the weekend. Like, he used the Oxford comma like twice, which was like, that's big for him. And I don't think there was one spelling mistake. He only miscapitalized like a couple of words. So I'm taking this as like a real positive thing, like until Monday. Monday, he could say he's running for Prime Minister of Canada. Like, I don't know.
Do you think he wrote it? Do you think it was written in like a lucid moment, or do you think somebody else wrote it for him?
I think he wrote it.
ChatGPT, baby.
Yes.
But did he say, but ChatGPT still leave just a little bit of something to make it sound like it came from me.
What do you think, Hassan? Yeah.
I think he put it in ChatGPT, and then he said, "Make it sound like Trump."
Yeah?
And then it add the errors.
And then it added a couple of
And
things.
he's like, yeah, this sounds like
Kept
me.
it polished.
Kept it polished, though, so you got to throw him off a little bit, you know?
Yeah, throw it off a little bit.
Do you think that this is a positive sign in what has been a really tough time with him?
I think it could get better. I hope it does, because I don't like conflict per se, but it's just weird to me just finding out about this through X, you know?
Yeah.
I need
Truth
it.
Social, worse.
Too much, Truth Social. I like Truth Social maybe, like if I get it from like the uncles in the barbershop or something, you know, WhatsApp groups or something like that, but Twitter, but I kind of like Mark Carney's style, man.
Yeah?
Mark Carney style, I'm feeling it a little bit, man. He's chill. He's like, Mark Carney is like the guy at a party that isn't doing too much. You know, be like, yo, who is he? Ah, man, if you need a ride from him, he's not weird.
It's true.
You know? I like politicians that be doing too much. I like mine nice, boring. Bring the boring politicians back.
Canadian style.
Yeah.
What do you think, Andrea?
You know what? I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. Ever since this man was inaugurated, it's just been one thing after another. The lies, the gaslighting, the back and forth with the tariffs. I'm not buying this for 1 second. Also, anybody who heard Premier of Alberta, Danielle Smith's interview on Breitbart, where she was asking the Trump administration to slow down with all the tariff talks because it was affecting somebody else in the polls, and the Liberals were getting ahead. So now all of a sudden, now Trump and the Liberals are getting along and they're best friends. Just yesterday, I swear, Carney was like, the relationship between Canada and the U.S., so it's never going to be the same. And then today, ChatGPT is telling Trump to type out to us that, oh, we're best friends and it's all going to work out. What are you talking about? You're the one who started this fight. What are you telling us it's all going to work out? You started this fight. You started with the 51st state nonsense, and now all of a sudden you're changing your tune. Listen, I know.
Do you think this is reverse psychology?
I think he's accustomed to talking to voters that don't read, don't know, and don't listen, but that's not Canada. We know it. We see what you're doing. So don't pull that.
It could be reverse psychology, but it
with us.
also might just be that he actually is like reading the room. Like that finally it's like he's seeing the fact that Canada yesterday was just being like, we don't care, we're moving along.
He couldn't read the room if the letters were this big.
I don't know. The fact that he referred to him as Prime Minister for the first time instead of Governor, like something, that is a sign of respect from Trump. So something has shifted here. My only fear is that this will be spun. Is that the other camp, we know how this works in politics, is that you just wait for it. By 3 p.m. today, I guarantee you there's going to be counter ads that are spinning this as in like, oh, look at Mark Carney and he's cozying up to Trump. When meanwhile, I hope what this means is actually that he's put his foot down for Canada and that Trump is starting to be like, oh God, Canada might leave and go to the EU. We got to do something right now.
I'll tell you, you might be onto something because Prime Minister Carney's office has released the call. So they released the transcript of the call and what has been said. And I'll tell you, the only reason why I think you might be onto something is because how could this be spun? We know what politics is. Exactly to your point. Could the Conservatives be spinning this and saying this is actually, see, he's too close. Those two are getting too close. He's not going to stand up for Canada. According to the transcript that was released by Prime Minister Carney's office, the last portion of the phone call actually said that Carney said, as a response to the 25% auto tariffs that are supposed to be enacted next week, that Canada has affirmed to Trump, we will enact our own retaliatory tariffs next week. So after that, if Carney actually said those words and said, well, you want to do 25%, we're coming back with the retaliation, and Trump still put that on Truth Social, something has shifted. I don't know if it's for the better or worse yet. You're right. We'll see next week. We'll see after the weekend. But to me, I think maybe, just maybe, Trump is looking at Carney and saying, he's an outsider like me. Carney is not a politician. He has never held office in the history of his career. But is he a money guy? He's a money guy.
Yeah, and Trump,
maybe
even though he's a bankrupted casino mogul, he's also a money guy. Maybe a little bit.
We'll see about this, right? We'll see.
You guys are so hopeful. You're so dark inside. I was like, there's all this hope at this table. What the hell are they talking about? All right, so let's move on. Okay, so here's a story that, it's gonna be divisive. Is 9:30 a.m. too early for a kid's birthday party? Thank you. A parent posted in the Momit subreddit saying that's the only time slot she could get for her son's 4th birthday. So, what do y'all think? You already told me that you're not in it. What do you guys think? Hassan?
I think 9:30 is lit. 9:30 is lit. You guys you gotta think about the kids. If you're doing a party for the kids, they're up at 5 a.m. already.
Yeah.
They're crashing out by 9:30.
Yeah.
By noon, they're sleeping. You gotta put them to bed or whatever. There's so much happening between. They don't have a 9 to 5. They have a 5 a.m. to noon. That's it.
Next time and then a little bit.
You know where you're also right is that if the party starts in the afternoon or in the evening, God forbid, the whole day, all you're gonna hear is, when's the party start? When's the party start? When's the party start? So you gotta get them in and get them out sooner.
Yeah,
They're at their peak
I like it
performance.
selfishly for me. Started at 9:30, presumably on a Saturday. I got the rest of the weekend. Get that party over with.
You know what?
It's better for you. You don't know it yet. You don't know it yet.
Listen,
they don't know it yet.
I'm going to talk for the parents right now, because as a non-parent, you guys want to hear from me, I know. Monday to Friday, we are setting alarms to get up to go to work. And now you want me to set an alarm on my first day off on a Saturday so I can go to a birthday party? No, thank you. I wouldn't even book a doctor's appointment at that hour. I'm like, that's too early. I want to wake up naturally.
Okay, so speaking, you're showing your
naturally.
non-parent colors because there is no such thing as a sleep-in for parents, not even on Saturdays. No.
Boom.
The fact that you said that you think that, I wish what you said is
pop
true.
your eyes open on a Saturday
Girl,
morning?
the kids are up, and guess who's up? We're up. So if it's 6, Saturday, Sunday, they don't know how to tell the days of the week.
Okay, but what about, remember back in our days when the birthday party turned to an adult party and the music changed and then the alcohol came out and then the cake went away? That's where I come from. So I'm like, 9:30 in the morning, honey, no one wants that. Everybody wants the party that turns into an adult party afterwards. That's a good time.
What if those adult parties are themselves changing? As you know, there is this big movement happening where there's not the nightclub life that we all knew. That culture is dying, but the day club culture is thriving. So take a look at this. This is Miami at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And this is not because they've been going since the night before. This is the dawn of what they call the coffee house parties. These are daytime club vibes, no alcohol, all music, all
You know
vibes.
what?
Sign me
You know
up.
what I can tell? Those kids did not fall asleep on a bed full of coats. That's all I can feel about. If they did, they wouldn't be there.
So comedian Nikki Glaser is sharing her unconventional take on relationships. Here's part of what she said on the Goop podcast with Gwyneth Paltrow.
I wouldn't mind if my boyfriend were to fool around with other people.
Do you really think you wouldn't mind? Has he done it?
Yeah.
And you didn't mind?
Like years ago, there were like a couple times. I don't mind as long as the girl knows.
So is this problematic or is this really progressive? Hassan, what do you think of this?
Oh, interesting.
Man, it's progressive, man. It's honestly, it seems like just Nikki might just need a Jamaican in her life, man. Yeah, she just needs a gallus, man. That's just willing and committed. Because that's default setting. If that's what she needs.
Well, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
In a sense, they are being progressive as a couple. Progressive means like moving forward, developing over time. And this is how their relationship is moving forward and developing over time.
Okay, so I'm curious, would you be comfortable in a relationship where your partner steps out and she does her thing and then she allows you to do your thing?
No, I think gallus is like a one-way street, though, no?
And actually, you bring that up. No, it's a good question because Nikki was asked that by Gwyneth, and she said, I don't want to step out. And she said, that's not my thing. My kink is asking my partner to step out. However, it's her kink. Do you know, though, she said in that podcast, her partner doesn't even like doing that.
Yeah.
So she's asking him to.
That's a good man.
Kink. That's a good man.
Yeah.
Isn't that a funny kink?
Are we applauding a man for turning down extramarital sex? Like, I'm sorry.
He's doing it for his girlfriend.
First, Trump saying nice things about our country. Now we're applauding a man for not cheating on his girl. I'll tell you, it's very interesting. When I saw this, the two things popped into my head. First, I thought maybe she just, you know when you love your partner, but you're not in love with them, so you don't really want to have sex with them anymore, so that's why you're comfortable to be like, go and do whatever you want to do. Come back home, I don't care. Or the other side where this is a girl who's been cheated on and now she wants to be in control of the situation, so she's going, go and do it, as long as I know about it and as long as the girl knows about it, and then it's all cool. And I feel like that, one of the two things is happening.
She's avoiding pain?
To me, this does not make sense. I know the
pain.
majority of the women in the audience are like, who wants this? Who wants to tell their partner, you look really good today. Go have a fun time and then come back and tell me all the details.
This is competition.
No.
Don't you think the competition is the kink for Nikki? Every time he has relations with another woman, it's the idea that he's always coming back to her. She sort of
to tell her the details of
enough to tell the details, and it just the very thought that other women find him desirable is the kink, and that he always comes back to her. There's no chance that he'll leave her. Like that is like winning a game every single day.
She actually
like,
said it though.
Hassan,
She said it. No, she said it in the podcast. She actually said, the thing that makes me hot is chasing first. Remember that first time when you get butterflies and you start to get lustful over that first date? Mm-hmm. She's like, I'm never gonna have that first again. But she recreates the idea of titillation and desire, and her kink, and this is your expertise, not this thing, but it is the idea that she can recreate a first and a desire and a lust.
Well, it's a very common, I shouldn't say it's very common, but it's something that we talk about. It's called the cuckold fetish that men often have, where their fantasy is to watch their female partner with another man. This is straight kink, right? So in the kink community, it's something that you may or may not watch that happen. You might just hear about it. You might just fantasize about it. There's a whole range. What I do think is progressive is that you don't often hear women sharing that kink. And I think the thing is, Andrea, I totally hear what you're saying. It could be any of those explanations, but it could just be that this actually legitimately is her kink. And I think that we need to think a little bit more imaginatively about the very many ways in which the alchemy of a relationship can unfold and be quite individualized. I think what's progressive also is that she felt brave enough to say it. Yeah. Like that is that you open yourself up when you talk about the uniqueness of your sexual dynamic in your relationship.
Will and Jada.
If it doesn't fall into, if it doesn't fall into a neat little box, conventional box, you run the risk of everyone trying to explain it away. Oh, you must mean this, or you must not really be in love, or you must, and it could just be that this works for them. Okay, and we should celebrate that. It doesn't mean you have to do it, but it might work for them.
So, I'm telling you from a single person's point of view, I hear everything you're saying. It just sounds like people in relationships are just dying to be single and trying to find some way to still hold on to.
It's more complicated
still
than
meeting
that.
And the butterflies and the newness and the extra sex. That's what I hear.
It's that it's really, really hard. We want monogamy. We want stability. We want this inherently to be safe and to be loved and to be seen. But it's inevitable that you're going to find other people attractive. This is the dilemma that we exist with, and we don't talk about it enough. And so I think it's like, it's not one or the other.
Finding someone attractive is one thing. acting on it, going on dates, and coming back and telling your partner, I think it's something else. I expect my partner to look at other women. Hell, I'll be the first to be like, her boobs look incredible.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. It's when it's the acting, it's the going out. That's for me where I don't know.
But isn't it great that they're doing this honestly and they're talking about it and they're actually communicating about it? That to me is so
There's no
refreshing.
cheating here.
You're just like,
But
what?
Hassan, what do you think?
Hassan's real quiet.
You were honest with me backstage when you said you were attracted to me.
And I meant every word of it.
You did. And I'm okay with that. Moving on, Kermit the Frog will deliver the commencement speech, guys. He's going to deliver the commencement speech, but we don't have time to talk about that.
No, we're not. But I am going to pivot.
Is that Kermit the Frog?
That was not Kermit the Frog. That was you.
Kinda hot, man.
We've run out a bit of time because Nikki Glaser's love life is very consuming. But Hassan, you are doing a lot of great things as well. You're a comedian just like Nikki, and you are actually going on a worldwide comedy show tour. It's called This Tour is Jokes. Your tour starts next Friday. Drake himself always makes sure that he shows up at your shows. So is there an art? What is your thing to win over a crowd?
I think, yeah, man, just be yourself. Transparency is very important. I think people could really tell that. Yeah, and I think a lot of people have a friend like me, that just isn't doing stand-up comedy, and I'm that guy. So I stepped up, man. I volunteer as tribute. I very rarely do young black men find something that they're good at, and they take it and they run with it. Thankfully for me, I've been able to do so, and I'm going to continue doing that from this part of the world to the next side, across the pond, and yeah, I'm not going to stop.
Can you give us a little flavor? What's the show about?
Oh, the show is about, man, I think this show is going to be a lot about, like, identity. Myself as a Canadian, as a person of Caribbean descent, East African descent. I'm a Toronto man through and through. It's pretty evident when I speak. And yeah, just like being a Muslim as well. It's so many pillars of my identity that I want to just shed through comedy, really.
What a great vehicle to do so.
100%.
Hassan, I hope we didn't scare you away and you'll come back one day.
Yes.
I would love to. Yeah, I got I'm ready to go.
Simon's gonna watch.
Yeah. We'll have to talk to Simon about that. But everybody watching, tickets for This Tour is Jokes. They are on sale right now at HassanFillsLive.com. It's on the screen right now. Make sure you grab some tickets and support.
Subscribe to The Social Podcast so you don't miss a fiery debate. Until next time, socialites.